I'm going to jump right into this. Topics we're going to cover today. These are topics that have been coming to me over the last 60 to 90 days. Questions that people are asking about on a common basis. And if you have any other questions, feel free to type them in. I'll do my best to try to answer them. We're going to talk a little bit about our company change. We're going to talk a little bit about the first-time homebuyer tax credit that the Biden administration is proposing. We have a lot of people asking about that, both real estate agents and clients. We're going to talk about the housing market at large, interest rates. Everyone wants to know, where's this thing going? Is the market going to crash? You know, what's going on with interest rates? Are they going up? Are they going down? We're also going to talk a little bit about inventory here in Shasta County as well as the rest of the country. So the first thing I want to talk about is our new company name, Change Home Loans. So our company has not changed. We have, pun intended, I guess we have a new name, and we're called Change Home Mortgage. The company, everyone that's a part of our company, it's all still the same. We just have made a few changes with the mission of our company and the types of products we're going to start offering clients that are really exciting. Construction loans, renovation loans that are not Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac traditional products that some of you may have heard of. These are portfolio loans that our company is going to begin to do in-house to offer our clients. Loans for business people, consumer loans, some really exciting things. So we'll be talking about that more, but our name has changed. We're now Change Home Loans. So if you see that, no, I did not move companies. I didn't do anything like that. We're just doing some very exciting things. So if you have questions, let me know. But the first topic we're going to jump into today is the first-time homebuyer tax credit for first-generation homebuyers. That's a mouthful. So the Biden administration has proposed a tax credit of up to $25,000 for first-generation homebuyers. This is a step beyond the first-time homebuyer. First-time homebuyer, by definition, is someone who hasn't bought a house in 2 years or less. A first-generation homebuyer is someone whose parents have never owned a house. So it's kind of an interesting concept. It hasn't passed yet. It's not available yet. But if it does happen, and it probably will, someone who hasn't owned a home and their parents haven't owned a home has access to $25,000. As more information comes out about that tax credit, we're going to share it with you. I'm sure it'll be out on most major media waves as that comes out as well. But, you know, it's an interesting concept. If you talk to most realtors and people in the real estate industry, this isn't a huge benefit to home buyers. It actually could be problematic. If we go back to 2008, when the Obama administration came out with the $8,000 tax credit, that was a very beneficial thing back then because we were in the middle of a foreclosure crisis. We had, home prices dropping on a daily basis. There was a lot of people that were trying to buy homes that couldn't qualify for a house. And that tax credit was a huge benefit to people that wanted to come into a house with no money down. You know, today it's a whole different world. We've got an inventory problem. We have a supply and demand problem. We have way more demand than the supply or the homes for sale nationwide for people to buy, which is why we're seeing such an equity bubble right now. So by creating a first-time homebuyer tax credit of any kind, all of that is going to do is increase demand while not solving the simple problem of supply. And so some of the other talks we're seeing out there with the federal government right now is addressing the supply issue, maybe creating some zoning changes on a state level where the governments can actually allow builders to build homes at a lower cost than they have in the past because of regulation. And, you know, hopefully we'll see that change if we see the tax credit, because that's the real problem that we have right now. And anyone that's in the industry or is buying a house or knows someone that's buying a house has probably heard that it's absolutely insane right now. You know, people are paying over asking price. Well-priced homes are getting multiple offers, and it's quite a challenge for people. So that's a little bit about the tax credit. The second thing we want to talk about is the crystal ball. What's going to happen in the future? Are we going to have another housing crisis? Are we going to have another drop in home values? And the first thing I want to say is I've been doing this for 20 years, but I've studied this topic a lot. I've read a lot of books. I've read through the history of every housing market, and I have a lot of friends that have been through every single recession for the last 30 years that we've had. And so historically, we're always going to see a downturn of some sort every 7 to 10 years, which would mean that we're overdue for that. You know, we're 12 years into the by far the strongest housing cycle we've ever seen in history. But more than that, what we have to look at is the fundamentals of why housing will continue to be hot the rest of the year. And it's just going back to the same thing I said. We have a supply and demand issue right now. And it's not unique to California. This is everywhere. I was just in an event in Texas with people from all over the country, and this problem exists everywhere right now. No matter where you move, there's a lot of people trying to buy homes, and there's just not a lot of replacement properties available. Construction has been lagging the last 10 years. The rental properties that are available, inventory for people to rent, there's not a lot available. I was talking to a property manager in Shasta County maybe a week ago, and he had upwards of 800 doors that he manages. He only had about 11 vacancies available, and he had 65 applications to rent a property. So, you know, the question that most home buyers that are looking at the market right now and seeing these higher prices are asking is, what are my alternatives right now? Renting doesn't look so great either. So as we move forward this year, the thing that we're going to keep our eye on is inflation. I'm going to jump into interest rates. You know, the beginning of the year in January, mortgage rates were at all-time lows. I say all twice because I've been saying all-time lows for about 5 years now. They seem to keep getting lower, but they were literally at the lowest point they had ever been in history. I mean, there's a lot of people that we helped get rates locked in the mid to low twos. And since January, rates have gone up by almost 1%. And a lot of that is because of what we're seeing in the world right now, which is inflation. There were some reports that came out this week that are you know, typical reports, PPI and CPI, which measure inflation with consumer goods. And we're seeing those numbers go to some of the levels we haven't seen in 39 years. And for any of you that are out there looking at things, I mean, how much does it cost to do anything right now? Everything's more expensive. Cars are more expensive. Food's getting more expensive. Gas is insane. Lumber, materials for builders to build homes. We're starting to see inflation kind of pick up in all these different sectors. And, you know, what that's going to do is it's going to push rates up, because the government can push rates up to curb inflation, which will affect mortgage rates. And so we do think we're going to see low rates through the end of the year, but we are going to see rates continue to go up, most likely, short of a black swan event like COVID happening. And so that's something we're going to keep our eye on. The other thing we want to talk about on a local level here in Shasta County is inventory. You know, right now, most people know that inventory is very low. There's not a lot of homes for sale. There are some new construction developments taking place that people are going to start looking at. And there are rumors that there's a couple national builders that are coming into Redding. I'm pretty sure we'll hear about that in the next couple weeks. But if we have a couple national builders come to Redding, that could really change the dynamic of housing in Shasta County, because a lot of these national builders will bring their own workforce. They have the means to move and to get homes built quickly. And so that'll be one interesting thing that we'll continue to update people on as we hear more about that. But if we do see, you know, large scale development coming into Redding from some national builders that just have the bandwidth to do that, that could be a real game changer to meet the needs of the people in our community that need houses, and right now some that unfortunately can't afford it. So really those are the things that we're kind of talking about right now.